Alright fellas, here we are back on Pokemon Masters, and tomorrow we're going to be getting the rerun for Sygna, Ethan, and Lugia, alongside Classic Giovanni, right? Which is very, very awesome. So, we're going to be basically seeing, should you summon for this character or not? They're, of course, coming along as a part of the 4th anniversary run-up, the Johto Trio's rerun, right? We had Chris, then we had Lyra, and now we're getting Ethan. And when it comes to Ethan, I would say he's definitely the one pair of the Johto Trio that stands out as not being as top tier, I guess. He's still good, for sure. I can say that much accurately. But I can definitely say that he does not have the same level of strength, utility, or just overall, not power, but like, wow factor that Chris or Lyra does, right? Lyra does a lot with her damage, nuke, grassy terrain, debuffs, guaranteed flinches, all that stuff, right? Chris, special moves next, range support, special attack crit, speed, move gauge acceleration, staggering. She's got a lot, right? Both of those characters have a lot of stuff, and Ethan is the one that stands out a lot as not having all that much in comparison. So we're going to look at his kit here and see if you should really summon for him or not. I don't think so. I definitely don't really think so, because I'll get into reasons why later. But yeah, let's go over and look at the unit, right? So again, this is an old infographic, as I've stated many times, so the dates here are not accurate. Ethan drops tomorrow, the 20th of August, and leaves the 15th of September, so a little bit less than a month of him being up. Whatever, right? Obviously, he's a flying striker with Lugia, and his stats, he's got 721 HP, which is really good for sure, 224 attack, which does not matter, 136 in both defenses, which is actually really meager, not great, because you can see a lot of different, like, both strikers and techs having, like, 150-ish in both of their defenses. Like, look at Liza, she's a striker, 169, 167 in the defenses. Palatine's Elisa, 175 defense, 185 defense. I'm just looking at flying types, but still. Anniversary Steven. Okay, Anniversary Stevens are low. I'll give them that. Lysander's are low as well. So I guess more newer characters would have these buffed stats. Looking at Duroc, 169, even though he is a tech. I'll give him that. He is a tech. Looking at strikers, again, just in general. More recent strikers, I guess. Looker even has better defenses. Not by much, but still, he's got better defenses despite being a spotlight. Zinnia has better defenses, right? Just a lot of, he's not got that great of the defensive stats, really. His HP is pretty good for sure, but stats not too much, or defensive stats. 398 special attack, which isn't bad for sure. Not really super high compared to a lot of recent strikers, right? Because, like, again, if we want to look at recent examples, okay, Rose is actually on the lower end, but he's got things to make up for it. Liza, 431 attack, right? Eugene's is also low as well. I think, yeah, I knew Lana's is pretty low as well, but also Marnie, holy shit, that's a special attack stat. That is level 150 and EX. I feel like level 140. No EX, still 500 special attack, that's a fucking lot, right? Emma, 424, so a little bit on the lower end, but still not too bad. And then 336 speed, that's a fine speed tier. So stats overall, defensively, they're pretty subpar. HP is good, but the defenses are not. Special attack stats, pretty average, I'd probably say. And then speed, pretty average as well. So, you know, decent round stats. Johto, Master Fair, of course, so he's got the Master Fair passive, which powers up special attack moves by 20%, reduces special attack damage taken by 25%, and the more Johto characters you have, the maximum power buff is 50%, and the maximum damage reduction is 31%. So your special attacking allies are going to be benefiting, and you're going to be taking less damage from special attacking enemies as well. So that's good. He's got extended range. I don't think I need to really state how good this ability is for sure. Being able to hit your moves for AoE damage without having the negative drawback of reduced damage is great. So this is a good ability. MP regain 9, restores 1 MP for the user when its Pokemon uses a move, restores 1 MP for the user after using its sync move. This ability, again, well, not again, but we'll go into it later on, because it definitely does impact how his kit works, for sure. And then he's got Brain Power, which is just a free 100% sync nuke multiplier, right? So that's good for sure. Just more his special attack is powered up, which of course you're going to want max special attack anyway. Anyway, Looking at his moves, he's got Arrow Blast and Whirlpool. Whirlpool is just for Trap. Honestly, this Trap does not impact him all that much, even in the grid, I think. It does give him a multiplier, I think, so that's about all I can really think of. That's pretty much it. But there is that to consider, right? You got AoE Whirlpool for AoE Trap, which is great. And then Arrow Blast for AoE 135 base power moves. So this is also a good ability for sure. Crits land more easily. Awesome, right? X special attack, of course, you know, to activate brain power as well as be self-sufficient in his buffs. And this is where his MP regain 9 really shines. Of course, it can shine against or with the X special attack, right? Because you do want to get that MPR in order to max out your special attack. But looking at the trainer move here, this is it. Has a 50% chance of reducing sync countdown by 1, which is good. Raises the user's accuracy by 1. Applies the critical hit next effect to the user, and increases the user's special moves next by 3. This is not a bad trainer move, but it's the gimmick that I honestly don't really like that much, because the way they want you to do it is they want you to use this, use a special attack or 2, either use your sync move or use Arrow Blast. And if you use Arrow Blast, you're going to be hitting with +3 special moves next, plus like 4, +2, +4 special attack, X special attack, depends how you do it. And then you're hitting with an Arrow Blast with +3 special moves next, right? Then after that, you get the MP Rekindle on these abilities, and then you max out your special attack, get your special moves next, and then land another Arrow Blast. Or, really, just to sum it up, trainer move, Arrow Blast, trainer move, Arrow Blast. Problem with this is that you don't have that many turns. That's just how it is. If you're in like master mode or something, you can definitely try and utilize it for sure, but you're on a clock. You're on a clock in master mode. You don't have that many turns to try and set up. You're going to have to bring a support that can buff your special attack and your crit. You can't really rely on this because it's just too slow. And you can't really rely on it either in a legendary gauntlet or a legendary arena because his defenses are too low to be able to take many attacks. So you're going to bring someone who's able to buff him, or like, you know, buff his defenses or raise his, you know, heal his HP or something like that, to where this ability just is not that great. Arrow Blast, not a bad damaging move. 135 isn't too low, but coming off of a basically 400 special attack stat with no multipliers, also still not the hardest hitting move. Like, we were complaining before about Sygna Suit N, which that had many fair complaints, right? But like, he's got a 487 physical attack stat, nearly 100 points more than Ethan here, and he's got a fucking nearly over double base power move, right? He's over double the base power of Ethan's Arrow Blast, right? And the only comeback or drawback is that it hits twice in a row, which, yes, that is a big problem. But that's what they're designing you to do with Ethan here as well, where they want you to use this and then use an Arrow Blast, use a trainer move, and then Arrow Blast. You're missing out on half the damage you're getting just for the special moves next, which a unit who already has his own problems, right, can get that from his grid with peak readiness. He can get a +1 special physical moves next, which is essentially just already what he's trying to do. So take it like this: 487 attack stat, 300 base power move minimum, +1 physical moves next. That unit has problems. So how is it going to be any better for a unit that has nearly 100 points less in special attack, over 150 points less in their powerful move, and the only positive is that they have +2 special moves next as opposed to the other +1 physical moves next? You're definitely going to face that type of problem, right? Obviously, this isn't like the worst ability ever because you can just bring a crit and a crit and special attack support where you don't have to really use this move. You can just spam Arrow Blast. But if you do that, honestly, the damage for Arrow Blast is not good. Well, it's not. It's good. It's fine, but it's nothing crazy, right? This guy's got no multiplier at all, right? 400 special attack stat. If we want to take a look at a unit with no multiplier that can hit hard, I wanted to look at Liza here. If we look at her 1 out of 5, no multipliers, right? No multipliers at all. No physical moves next, nothing like that, right? Giga Impact, 223 base power move. What's that? What's the difference? You can do the math. Come on. It's like 100, right? It's like a 90-point difference. And a 35, 40-point higher physical attack stat, right? Okay, no, it's actually level 150. Okay, so around 15 points higher in physical attack. This unit doesn't have too many problems, but that's also because her main offensive option is 100 points higher than Ethan's main offensive option. Like, if you were to look at the damage of this Giga Impact, it would look a lot stronger than this Aeroblast, and even then, Giga Impact off of a 409 attack stat, good. Nothing crazy impressive, right, with no multipliers or no physical moves up next or anything. And if you're trying to apply the special moves next to Ethan, you're taking that turn to do that, and you're kind of just, you're not cutting your damage in half, but honestly, you're probably not ending up with much different damage because you're having to constantly switch between trainer move, trainer move, Aeroblast, trainer move, Aeroblast. So if you're sticking with just DPS, your DPS isn't looking all that impressive. If you're sticking with swapping between your Aeroblast and your trainer move, it's also not that impressive because you're essentially cutting down the amount of attacks you use to just twice a turn, or not twice a turn, once every 2 turns. So you're cutting down your damage either way, right? It's just not a good situation for him to be in. That's pretty much why I don't really recommend summoning for him, because his damage is not really all that impressive at all, even with extended range, even with these gimmicky abilities, and the brain power, right? I still don't think it's really all that impressive, because he doesn't even have an innate sync multiplier because he's a striker. So I don't really think he's all that impressive, especially because if you want to consider other flying options, like Blue is free, and he got a good grid expansion recently. Like, 4 sync nodes, Brain Sync 5, Sync Power Flux, yay, Sync Power Flux. Brutal Clarity's already got the multipliers. He's got a already higher special attack stat than Brendan, and once he megas, he gets up to like 500, right? And he's got 138 base power Hurricanes. Literally, look at this. Ethan at minimum has 135 base power. Blue, just at 3 out of 5, already has a higher base power move with Hurricane and a higher special attack stat. Without any multipliers, your Blue is going to hit harder than Ethan. The only perk Ethan has that Blue doesn't is that he can start using Aeroblast turn 1, where Blue has to use his Sync move first. Which, yeah, that's a big caveat, but that's still such a big point to make. Blue will hit harder without multipliers. But oh wait, he has a multiplier. He's got Brutal Clarity. He'll actually do damage. So if you want to see how much damage Ethan's Aeroblast would do on average, take a Blue. Doesn't matter if he's 5 out of 5, 3 out of 5, or whatever, right? Just make sure it's 3 out of 5 minimum. Use Hurricane without Brutal Clarity, and that's how much damage Ethan will be doing. Yeah, it'll be multiple targets because of extended range, but really, that's not the main point, I guess. So yeah, anyway, that's a big problem with Ethan. Anyway, whatever. So I don't recommend something for Ethan. His damage is not really all that crazy, and his gimmick is iffy, to say the least. The Master Passive is good, though. I'll give it that, but not worth summoning for. Definitely not. Especially not to the same degree as Chris. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at the grid, right? Let's look at the grid here, see what he's able to do. 1 out of 5, he's got Move Gauge Refresh on Aeroblast and Whirlpool, which is good, sure. 2 out of 5, he gets Sync Multipliers, which is good. That is good, too. Foul Fighting, too, for a 20% DPS multiplier. That's good for sure. But he still does less damage than Blue with Brutal Clarity. He still does. And I find that so funny. I find that so funny. But whatever. Special Attack plus 20, definitely a node he'll need. Racing Rain. Nothing else too crazy, really, at all, I'd say. Turn move Fleet Feet for some self-sufficient speed buffs. That's not too bad there for sure. But I'd say this is the only things he really gains that's worth of importance. Which the multiplier is nice, but that's literally his only DPS multiplier, I believe. Even at 3 out of 5. So, yeah. 2 out of 5 I wouldn't say is too worth picking up. I would say just if you're gonna EX him or candy him, do it a 3 out of 5 really. That's all that's worth it, because you got 4 sync multipliers here. Shower Power, which is a 30% sync multiplier. Interference Sync 5, which is a 50% sync multiplier. Sync Thinker. This is where you actually have a solid amount of special moves next. So there's that. Damn, I really want to pick up that Shower Power. The game really does not want me to pick up that Shower Power, huh? Damn, that's annoying. Oh well, that's fair. What else do you got? Yeah, Healthy Benefits, that's nothing too crazy. Grand Entry, again, nothing too crazy. Piercing Gaze for moves never miss. This isn't bad against Latias, but that's about all I would say it's really amazing for. Turn to move BOGO, this can be good for some self-sufficiency. Engage, but that's also a 50% chance of applying it, so it's also gimmicky. Training move Brain Gain 2. This would be actually pretty impactful if it was Brain Gain 9. That's what I'd say, but it's not. It's Brain Gain 2, so it's a 30% chance to get +1. Actually, oh, I thought Brain Gain... Okay. No, this still wouldn't have been that great. +1 special moves next is good and all, but still don't think it would have made too much of a difference. I was thinking it would have been +2. Anyway, I don't think there's much really in Ethan's grid outside of his sync nuke stuff. That's it, really. Because, like, outside of the nuking nodes here that we've gotten, what else is there? I mean, the Brain Gain 2 is not consistent. I wouldn't pick it up. Fleet Feet, it's minimal. Bogo 4, this could be solid, but you're probably going to be sacrificing something, whether it be the foul fight, which you can't even sacrifice the foul fighting, really. You really can't. You have to sacrifice, like, the shower power, I guess. And even then, you can't really... Yeah, you're still in that little problem that I'm facing, whatever. Gauge is a problem, or sync energy. But yeah, the Bogo, a little bit inconsistent, but not bad, I guess, for, like, a team with gauge issues that you're trying to run, like, the Gauntlet or something. So there's that. Piercing Gaze is not really that impactful, again, except for, like, Latias or enemies buffing their evasion. Healthy Benefits, also not really all that insane. I mean, this is actually not a bad ability because he has such meager defenses, but he doesn't have any way to heal himself back. Well, okay, Refreshing Rain. Okay, why are you even using him in Rain? I guess Shower Power, but that's about it. They really wanted to build him to be run with Sygna Suit Chris. They really did. But if that's his only real partner to boost his level of strength, then I think he got a problem. Sync Thinker, this isn't a bad ability for sure, but you're going to be sacrificing a lot of energy to pick that up, honestly. Yeah, really, I'm not impressed with Ethan's grid all that much, outside of the sync stuff. His sync move is going to be hitting hard, for sure. Sync move's got a lot of stuff. He's got Brain Powers and innate. He's got 50% multiplier here, 30% multiplier here, 2 sync nodes for a freaking nearly 4. You got 400 base power sync move if you have him 5 out of 5, 375 if otherwise, which is pretty good for sure. But his DPS is a little bit of a problem. It's kind of like Olivia. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday about this, where, like, Olivia's good, or her sync move is pretty good for sure, but her DPS is the problem. That's what I'm getting the same thing with Ethan here, is that his DPS can be a little bit of a problem. I would honestly... Does Olivia hit harder than Ethan? I think Olivia actually hits harder in the DPS department than Ethan does. Maybe. I could be wrong about that, actually. I don't know. This is if we're not considering this. Actually, even if we do consider this, that's attacking once every other turn. I don't know. I think Ethan's DPS is probably quite low. Anyway, yeah. Overall, I don't think you should summon for this guy. He's not really too worth it. Definitely not to the same extent as Lyra and Chris, for sure. But anyway, it's your choice, really. If you want him, go for it. Lugia's a cool Pokemon. The outfit's certainly an outfit in the game. It's not bad. No, it's not bad. I just don't care much about Ethan. But anyway, yeah. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all later. Let me know if how your summons go, if you're going to be summoning or not. And yeah, see you later.